And with that very auspicious picture, we'll ask to get started with it. I'm sorry. Sorry, John. I could not resist that opportunity. That was really, really good. Good evening, everyone. How is everybody?
Here.
I'm trying to step back from the mic and not blow everybody out. Welcome to the September Delta Amateur Radio Club meeting, our membership meeting. So I'd welcome everybody tonight, and I'll just have a real quick period. If you just call a roll for the board, I'd appreciate it, and then we'll get kicked off.
Yes, sir. President Joe Plump.
Here.
Vice President Tyler Henry.
Present.
Secretary Perry Hayes is present. Treasurer Paul Brew.
Present.
Director of Training Joe Lowenthal.
Here.
Computer Trustee Dan Fleet.
Here.
Director of Meetings and Special Events Josh Cunningham.
Here.
Director of Programs Adam White.
Here.
Director of Publications Jonathan Herschel.
Here.
Club Historian John Reiner.
Here.
We do have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Perry. I do appreciate that. And I want to take a moment for just a second and ask if anybody recognized a slight change in the board member names.
The people on the board.
I did. I would hope the board would know. But I do want to take an opportunity, and I want to thank Scott Adams for I think it was over 10 years of service as our Director of Meetings and Special Events. At our last board meeting, he stepped down, and Josh Cunningham stepped into his place as our Director of Meetings and Special Events. So if I could get just a real quick round of applause for Scott. And he is tending the door, so when he comes in and sees everybody, just congratulate him and let him know that we are thankful for the service that he rendered to the club. All right. I want to take just a real quick minute. I don't want to take very long, but I do want to just have everybody, we'll start on this side of the room at the table there with Dan. Just stand up, say your name, say your call sign, so we can start trying to put names and faces together. And we'll just stay with name and call sign tonight.
Dan, AA4DF.
Farrell, KD4YML. Paul, KA4X.
Tyler, KQ4QEV.
Clement, KQ4TQV.
John, KM4BBH.
Josh, KQ4IOS.
Joe, WA4OVO.
Don, KD4DJ.
Bill, KK4BPS.
Scott, KQ4TGW.
Bob, RK4EXC.
Paul, KY4MX.
Randy, KQ4HJH.
Terry, November 4 Golf Juliet.
Jim, N4VOK.
Ned, KA4BLL.
Barry, WB4CP.
Dan.
Jim, W4JVG.
Janet, KN4FBI.
Dan, KN4FPJ.
Jose, KJ4DCJ.
Julie, KR4FEB.
She's one of the students from the last class.
Congratulations. Welcome to the hobby. Dana?
Dana, WI3B.
Bill, WA4MJM.
James, KK4AVW.
Tom, AC5MR.
Dave, AD4Q. Bill, KC4SXT.
Rick, W84NBM.
Richard, K4DXF. Rick, N0KYM.
Tim, KQ4QFL.
Jonathan, KO4WAQ.
I'm Talo, KQ4KLJ.
Steve, KK4VPT.
KE8UAR Cooper.
Larry, KR4DFU.
John, KK4LST.
Joe, KM4JXS.
With Kilo Alpha 4, whiskey.
Whiskey's in the house.
Mary Jean, KY4FB.
Adam, K4SPB.
John Joe, November Sierra 4 Echo. Well, thanks everyone. Appreciate getting the opportunity to start putting names to call signs. I promise you it'll take me a dozen more times because that's just how I roll, because names are not my specialty.
You bet.
That's how it rolls. A couple of other things to talk about. So we had a few minutes as you sat down to introduce everybody at your table and you talked to the peers at your table and made some connections. So as an opportunity, I have some door prize tickets. I'll make an opportunity here. Anybody that's willing to stand up from their table and move to another table and introduce yourself to a whole other table, I've got a door prize ticket with your name. Anybody want to take that opportunity? Ready, set, go.
Okay.
All right, there's one.
One.
Oh, we are a bashful bunch tonight. Really? Oh, there's another. There's another. All right, there's four. I see four. All right. Okay. That accomplished. Everybody say hello, Scott. What's up? Thank you for your service, Scott. All right, those of you that moved, that I saw four, I have your door prize ticket. I will hunt you down. I saw one back there, one there. I got all four. I got you. I'll find you. Give me a few minutes and I'll come hunt you down. All right, one other thing that I want to do, we have a very special presentation right now that I'd like to call Steve Frazier up to make that presentation, please.
All right. As some of you may know, because we don't do this very often, but as some of you may know, she does already, we use an opportunity to represent past presidents. As some of you may know, I was past president. I did it for a few years. And then the person that came in after me was Mary Jean. We'd like to recognize Mary Jean now. In her case, like many others, it's not only recognition for being president, but everything that you've done in the past. I'm probably going to forget something, but secretary, and then definitely my vice president during some interesting times. We did it through COVID, so that was pretty interesting. And then you were president for 2 years? 2 years, yeah. And we kept it going, and recognition for doing that. We'd like to keep the tradition going. Presenting you with jacket. What's a nice jacket? The jacket is because presidents are so cool that we've got to have something to keep us warm. But it's also to remind you that you're always going to be a member of the club, and you're always going to represent the club. And by wearing that, you'll be somebody that can help us keep it going.
Thank you. Perfect response.
Thank you, Steve. Much appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, we'll take just a real quick moment before we jump into new business. So, any of our membership have announcements that they would like to make to the club? Fred? Dave?
Again, I'm Dave, AD 4 students. Getting that light blinded. How many of you have heard of the barefoot bullfrog net? Oh man. Well, where have you been?
A long way from you.
There's a solution for that.
I'm working on it.
Some of you knew him. You know how to get into the repeater. And you're operating a duplex. The repeater's doing all the work for you. On simplex, it's a little bit different. It's a little more of a challenge. I was very fortunate when we built our house in 1979. I told my wife I wanted to put up a tower. She said, that's fine, as long as I don't have to look at it. I said, okay, I'll put it right close to the house, so when you look out the window, you don't see anything. So I put up a 60-foot tower, and Mike Harrison helped me a few years ago, and we added 20 feet to it. So I've got an 80-foot tower now, self-supporting, and with a mast and a diamond 510 antenna. The tip of my antenna is about 108 feet high. So I'm very fortunate on simplex. I can talk to the people down in Mississippi. I can even hear John in Bartlett or in Germantown. You're Germantown, right? Bartlett, okay. When you check in, I can hear you. John's been busy traveling a lot here. But we're down, as far as activity, we have a lot of people that listen, I think, sometimes, but some people just don't check in. There's a lot of advantages to having a good simplex station. Because one of these days, if we have an emergency, it's very possible that the repeater will not function. You guys up in Tipton County found that out last year. And they had the hurricane or the tornado stuff up there, and you don't always have the repeater. And amateur radio, that's one of the things that we're known for, is in emergencies being able to step up. I remember 1964 when they had the big earthquake in Alaska. I was in Seattle and I was running phone patches for Alaska because they had no communications out of the state. No phone lines. Phone lines have been severed by the earthquake. So amateur radio in emergency situations, you need to have a good simplex station. You don't need to, but it's good. If you're in an HOA, that's a challenge. Having an antenna that you can get out, do like Joe, put it up in your attic, and you can go pretty good ways, especially if there's other people that have a little bit higher. Line of sight, two handy-talkies, you might get 3 miles, maybe 5. But if one of the stations has an antenna that's 50 feet high, then now you're up to 8, maybe 10 miles. So what I'm asking you guys is, if you get a chance, check into the Bullfrog Net. It meets every night at 7:30, half hour before the Delta Club. It's on 146.535. I don't know why they picked 535, but they did. A lot of people use 5.2 direct. Other people use 5.5. I forget what the one that the off the road guys use. 146.46. Yeah, 146.46. So there's some frequencies that have been chosen, but 146.535 every night, 7:30. And there'll be somebody there to talk to. A lot of times on that frequency in the morning, people driving to work will get on there and just write you. So I'm asking you to give us a shot. I don't check in every night, but I'm probably there most nights. Joe checks in about him and his wife Beverly. Dan checks in. John when he's around town. And a few other, Joe, you've checked in. So give it a try. There's some good guys on that frequency. There's a couple of them that are a little if you know, one of the guys says, we'll treat you so many ways, you gotta like one of them. So, give it a try. We get about, lately it's been running about 10, 12 check-ins every night. And it's usually done by 7:45, just in time for the Delta. Thank you, Joe.
Dave, thank you so very much. Appreciate that.
I just want to second what Dave says. The bullfrog net is a great way. As Aries, I've encouraged all our members to check into that net. When everything else is down, Simplex is going to be the way to go. And one thing that he touched on is you can throw out your call. I've had many times where I've been testing my radios, and I'll throw a call out on another frequency, but if I throw something out on 535, chances are somebody will come back to me. So anyway, yeah, it's worthwhile and worth investing to. And also, you don't have to put up a tower. You can do it. You can't do it just dirt cheap, but for me, I've got a 9 dB gain antenna on 20 feet of EMT bolted to my chimney. So it's not 60 feet, but it does it well enough that I can get out.
Or for sure here, Dave. The coax and put it up in a tree.
Yeah.
You can get 50, 60, or 100 feet if you got an oak tree out in the backyard somewhere.
So, and then the other aspect of it is if you can't get in, most likely somebody will hear you and relay you in. And that's part of the name, the Amateur Radio Relay League. So there you go.
All right, John, thank you. Now, I'll just mention real quick, my personal favorite on the radio mast to get my antenna up in the air is the $80 Harbor Freight push-up flagpole special. You can get for $60 if you watch the sales really aggressively. Works great, and you just put the antenna on the top, push it up, and away you go. I recently found a 30-footer on Amazon, but I haven't been approved by the CFO to purchase that one yet. But that is a fantastic opportunity to get your antenna up higher. Throw it up in a tree is an equally impressive way to do that as well. Are there any other announcements?
A little bit of advice. If you've got a fiberglass antenna, that's been up there quite a few years, when you go to work with it, have some gloves on.
Absolutely.
I learned the hard way.
That sounds like learned wisdom.
Yeah.
And then you can code it later.
Thanks, sir. And I think Mr. Joe has an announcement.
We're looking at a general class to start up on November the 3rd for 5 Monday nights from 6:15 to 9:30 at the Memphis Police Department, the Abilene Farm Station. If anybody is interested, send me an email with the subject line general class and their name, call sign, email address, and cell phone number, and be glad to get them on the list. We need to have 10 people to make the class a decent class to go. We usually have some dropouts from it, so we really need to start off with 10, or else it's almost one-on-one. And I hate to. We have about 10 instructors that commit to the training, and I really and truly hate to have them not have a class to go to. So that's why I try to say that we need at least 10 people to start the general class.
Thank you very much, Joe. All right, let's take care of some new business. We'll get into our regularly scheduled program. I have a couple of points of new business that I need to make, take care of. One of those items is, it is September, and it is time for a nominating committee to be appointed. Now, before I ask for the nominating committee chairperson and ask them to stand up as I appoint them, I'm going to let you know that your board has all right now agreed to come back next year, so we have a full slate, sort of accepting the PIO, of officers that are willing to return next year. Now, with that being said, there is an advertisement open for treasurer and an advertisement open for secretary, but both Paul and Perry are both willing to continue on until somebody steps forward and kind of learns the job on the fly, so that that's not such a hard transition. So the officers are transitioning and willing to transition. But to keep everything on point and mind the P's and Q's, I'm going to ask Steve Frazier to stand, and he is going to be our nomination committee chairperson. If such time as there are other nominees that come forward, Steve will form the rest of the nominating committee and take care of all the proper P's and Q's to take care of that in October. But I did want to mention that we do have a full slate of board members that are willing to serve for another year. All right, with that, let's move into, we have some minutes that we need to read and approve. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes and the treasurer's report.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Don. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right.
Good job, man.
Indeed, indeed. All right, we'll do just a quick survey. Are there any board members that would like to make any additional reports? All right, Dan?
Okay. We got the APRS node antenna, thanks to Mr. Urschel for donating the antenna. Got it up. There is a Mestastic node repeater router thingy on top of Methodist North now. There may be one going up on top of the Germantown water tower in the next probably year. This is not related to repeaters, but this is so I'm a reserve at Bartlett Fire Department, and every year we have a pancake breakfast. For those of you who were thinking pancake breakfast, we feed 2,500 people in 4 hours, and we have outdoor events at the pancake breakfast. So when I say events, like we're cutting up a car, we have rescue dogs.
So be careful where you park when you go.
Yeah, Ford or something like that.
You'll be the display.
We have kind of an agility course for kids. That's a lot of fun. In the past, we've landed a helicopter in the parking lot, but this year, due to space, and another thing we're going to do is we got from the state fire marshal burn trailers, so we're going to set things on fire. But since the theme is emergency, and we'll have the sheriff's department out there, so a lot of different types of emergency things. I thought, well, why don't we have ham radio out there? It'd be a good advertising thing for the club. We can either do it as a special event station, or we can have just people come by. Hey, you want to talk on the radio? So kind of get people exposed to ham radio, because
Which fire station?
it will be at the Bartlett Station Municipal Center, or whatever they call it now. It's exactly where Free Fest is. It was
What date?
October 25th.
Fantastic.
It is after fall break, for those of you who still have kids. So October 25th, Saturday, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And would like to see people come out and participate, come to our event. But I think we'll have a good time setting up some tents, antennas. That may be able to hang a antenna off the corner of the building, or if we ever get the DX Commander built, we can use it as a POTA or an antenna out there. So probably talk more about it in the next meeting, but October 25th, Saturday.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that announcement. And the board is fully in support of this. We talked about it at our board meeting, so we are looking forward to having a lot of fun at this. All right, I am going to take one moment, and we're going to jump to the program, and then after Josh and I, not Josh, Tyler, because Tyler moved. I was looking over there for where he was normally sitting, but he moved because he took me up on the offer. We'll talk about the bus trip, and then we'll jump into a quick break, and then we'll jump into that the program for tonight on time with ham radio and iOS apps for amateur radio. All right, so the one shameless plug that I want to make is I have put a hidden question in the signal report tonight that is not normally there, and I need your help. I need everyone to scan the signal report. There's a QR code on your table. The question's at the very bottom. give me some feedback on that question. If you don't want to answer all the other questions, that's fine. But I do want your feedback on the surprise bonus question that's at the bottom of the survey. And we'll talk about that. Adam kind of alluded to it in his article in Sparks. So if you want a teaser, go back and read Sparks. We'll talk about that in October. All right, so with that, if you'll fill out your signal report, and the QR code is on the table, or you can scan this one, just let us know what the answer to the bottom question is. We sure would appreciate it. It would be very, very helpful. All right, Tyler, we're on deck. We get to talk about the bus trip and how we coerced you, cajoled you, had fun with. Guess what Tyler did on the bus trip down to Huntsville? He took his.
I slept on the way back.
He took his extra exam.
And Jonathan.
And Jonathan.
He would have too. No,
So-
he'd rather.
One of the things that was super fun about the bus trip for me was just the camaraderie and the people and the cut up fun that we had on the bus. Because I will admit, we were giving Tyler and Jonathan a really fun time on the bus about taking their test. And they did beautiful. They know exactly what they need to study now.
You learn.
He learned. I'm going to monopolize the mic for just a minute. I'm going to hand it over to Tyler. One of the favorite things that I got to do at the Huntsville trip as a function of the bus trip was I got to meet several of our ARRL executive officers. I got to meet David, our CEO, and I got to meet the first vice president Catherine, and David, who was our section division leader. I got to meet them and just have a good, strong, long conversation with them that was longer than 5 minutes and meaningful. I actually got to understand and hear the story behind Dave's vanity call NA2AA. Catch me and I'll tell you his story because it was kind of fun. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tyler and let him kind of banter a little bit about why he enjoyed the bus trip, and then we'll have a little more Q&A.
Or whatever. All right. Hey, everybody. Tyler, KQ4QEV. So, this is my second year. Had a great time again. Many a good conversations were had on the way down. And then it was, hey, when are you going to take your extra test? I'm like, eventually, when I actually study. And then a certain unnamed NS40 individual was like, hey, try the practice test. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I haven't cracked the book open. If I get the first question right you give me, I'll challenge the test. And he pops a little app open and finds the question. And it's not this simple, but it's along the lines of, what is 3 plus 9? 12, potato, the moon, hyperbole. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, I actually know this answer. The rest of them I did not know. So anyway, got peer freshman into... Hey, I gotta own up. I made a executive decision. I had to bite on the executive decision. So Jonathan follows me in. He's going to take a test too. So they sit me down, and the first question, I'm like, I don't know half of these words. There's a lady legitimately crying to my right. There's a guy with a calculator sitting across from me. And I'm sitting there like, I have no clue what's going on. So I'm bebopping down and test questions, and Jonathan's sitting over there at this point. Now he's smiling, and I'm smiling. Another dude starts crying because he passed. The chick is crying because she did not. A couple other people were high-fiving and all this, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. Little lady comes over there, scans my score sheet, and turns her computer around and goes, oh. Yeah, I didn't study. So don't worry, don't feel bad. She's like, oh, well, you can try again later. I'm like, yeah, I'll try again once I actually read the book. So now I know kind of what to study. I was not successful, but every now and then you just got to try something new. I had a good time. Got to see a lot of interesting things at several of the booths. Picked up a 70-centimeter radio for around here. Picked up some other stuff that I had been needing. Got to sit in on a couple of presentations. My daughter loves space, so I got to go sit on the ARIS group presentation. That was pretty interesting. And then I got to talk to the ARR people as well. I decided last year to get the ARR Help hat, and I'm going to do a pin for every year that I do my first contact on field day. Well, as y'all know, I was in St. Louis this past field day, so I waited till I got my first contact, I put my pin on. I got back to the house, and I've got my hat, and I got my 2024 pin, no 2025 pin. So I sit on it for a couple, at this point, months. And I'm like, oh, I need to order a pin. Well, you can't buy them anymore. So I talked to the regional director. I was like, hey, this is the scenario. And he's like, I think we have some in the office. So they mailed me a 2025 pin, which was incredible. They were very friendly, nice to talk to. I had a lot of good times, had a lot of good conversations. Somehow, a picture of me taking a nap on the way back didn't make it, which means I had a very good success. So I enjoyed it. If you're thinking about going and haven't gone, come next year. It's really fun. The deal that Joe has for us, pulling right up to the back, like people are looking at us like, you got a bus? Like, yeah, we don't have to carry anything. We just put it on the bus. And they're like, I drove 6 hours this morning. Yeah, I mean, the entrance is, there's the bus. The poles, I mean, legitimately, it's there. And people are looking at us like, hey, sorry, have a better club. Y'all, we're special. So, again, thanks, Mr. Joe, for keeping that going. That's a super blessing. So, yeah, I had a good time. And eventually I'll study and take the extra test. Probably not successful on the second try either.
You'll be successful.
Eventually.
All right. Now, I will call out Matt, since he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
He's in the same boat. He said he would take his general by September or October. So if you see Matt, let him know that, hey, have you taken your general? That's a bus trip. If you know, you know, bus trip kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, Don?
We twisted it. We twisted. I'm praying, by the way.
A very deep prayer.
That was a fantastic answer. All right. Any questions about the Huntsville bus trip? Who all got to go on has been on a Huntsville bus trip in the past? Hey, look at that room light up. Awesome. All right. Well, I will take an opportunity to say thanks to everybody for making the club be successful enough to be able to do that. There are donors that help us anonymously sometimes with that. We appreciate all that. And the camaraderie is just unmistakable. So I appreciate all that. With that, I'm going to get out of the way. We're going to take a minute and take a quick break so you can refill your drinks, grab some water, grab some chips and drinks. Thanks, Josh. And Scott, thank you for your many years of service. I'm going to say that one more time because we do appreciate that. We'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back and learn about time for amateur radio and iOS apps for amateurs radio. All right, 5 minutes.
Come on.
See y'all in just a couple minutes.
Rain.